Welcome to my beginning English class. I am your instructor, Richard Campbell, and I hope you find these lessons helpful. Thank you for watching. This is Learn Beginning English Class, Lesson 14, Past Tense. Past tense, the verb to be. Present time, now, the verb to be, am. Past time, yesterday, the verb to be, was. Present time is, past time was. Present time are, past time were. Present tense, am, is, and are. Past tense, was, and were. Present tense, where are you? Past tense, where were you? Present tense, I am at school. Past tense, I was at school. Present tense, where is he? Past tense, where was he? Present tense, he is at school. Past tense, he was at school. Present tense, where are they? Past tense, where were they? Present tense, they are at school. Past tense, they were at school. Present tense, who is at school? Past tense, who was at school yesterday? Present tense, I am. Past tense, I was. He is. Past tense, he was. She is. Past tense, she was. We are. Past tense, we were. You are. Past tense, you were. They are. Past tense, they were. Was I? Was he? Was she? Were we? Were you? Were they at school? Answer: yes. Yes, I was at school yesterday. I was. What's the question? Who was at school yesterday? At school. What's the question? Where were you yesterday? Yesterday. What's the question? When? When were you at school? When were you at school? When were they at school? When were we at school? When was I at school? When was she at school? When was he at school? Yesterday. This is my classroom. It's room number 125. Mary is in my classroom. The answer, in my classroom. What's the question? Where is Mary? The answer, yes, she is. What's the question? Is Mary in my classroom? Is Mary in the library? What's the answer? No, she isn't. Mary is. What's the question? Who is in my classroom? She is in my classroom. The answer, my classroom. What's the question? Whose classroom is Mary in? She is in my classroom. She is in room 125. The answer, room 125. What's the question? What room is Mary in? Mary was in my classroom. What's the question? Where was Mary? Yes, she was. What's the question? Was Mary in my classroom? Was Mary in the library? What's the answer? No, she was not. Or, no, she wasn't. Mary was. What's the question? Who was in my classroom? She was in my classroom. Answer, my classroom. What's the question? Whose classroom was Mary in? She was in room 125. What's the question? What room was Mary in? Was Mary in my classroom? Yes, she was. Wasn't she in the library? No, she was not. No, she wasn't. Was she in the bookstore? No, she was not. No, she wasn't. Her friends were in the library. What's the question? Where were her friends? Her friends were. What's the question? Who was in the library? Yes, they were. The question? Were her friends in the library? Now let's do a dictation. I will say a sentence 3 times. You try to write the sentence. Number 1. She was in my classroom. She was in my classroom. She was in my classroom. Number 2. I was at the library. I was at the library. I was at the library. Number 3. They were at home. They were at home. They were at home. Number 4. He was in the classroom. He was in the classroom. He was in the classroom. Number 5. Who was in your classroom? Who was in your classroom? Who was in your classroom? Number 6. Where were you? Where were you? Where were you? Number 7. Were they at home yesterday? Were they at home yesterday? Were they at home yesterday? Number 8. Was he at the library last week? Was he at the library last week? Was he at the library last week? This is the end of my beginning English class lesson 14. Thank you for watching. I hope you find these lessons helpful. Your teacher, Richard Campbell.